What's up, mother foxers? Let's talk about China. Alright, so what I mean by that is everybody is quick to dismiss their products. All right, their government, let's not go there. But I see China written all over this car. So I look at these Facebook groups. I don't get involved in them too much for the Fox bodies. I put my 2 cents in where I need to, but I don't know. People on the internet, man, you could say something that's totally not offensive and they get offended by it. It's like I wasn't accusing you of anything. It was just making a statement. But anywho, when it comes to their products, man, look, my other car, BS, Black Sunshine, I went full name brand on that stuff. And then I built another car and kind of went a little bit here, a little bit there. And in this car was a total Chinese experiment. I wanted to see if these Chinese products were actually bad. And it turns out, man, a lot of them aren't. You got to know what to get and what not to, okay? So, like, for instance, if you're going to get something that needs to be robust, maybe stay away from that. And a good example of that is, like, if you got a manual car and you're going to buy a shifter, do not cheap out on that. Reason being is because what are you always doing in these cars? You're shifting them. So buying a cheap shifter is probably not a good idea. I use, and I love them, the Steeda Triacs. They're just tried and true to me. They're in both my cars. They work fantastic. And they're very robust. Another thing is I'm a big fan of Steeda suspension as well. I'm a Steeda boy, guys. I like Steeda. Rear control arms in this car. Everything in my other car is Steeda. This thing's got Steeda lowering springs on it. It's just great stuff. I mean, it's made here in the USA, so good company, good track record. But when it comes to other things, you don't always need it. The fuel system on this car. These are Evil braided reinforced gas lines. These particular fittings came with a Chinese regulator I had, and the only reason I put an Aeromotive on it because I thought maybe that was causing the startup issue with this car when I was going through that, but it was my fault with not understanding their timing, the way it was supposed to be set up. So that other Chinese one is probably good. It was never bad. I just wanted to take that out of the equation. But since I got a good one, I'm not going to take it out. But it came with these fittings that are push-on. They don't like. Neither do the Evil. The Evil are reverse thread-on, and that's an Evil one right here. So they work, man. Then I needed a single plane intake. I go buy an Edelbrock, what are they, like $300? How much are Hollies? And people were saying, you buy those, they're going to be warped, you know? Okay. If it comes that way, guess what you can do? You can send it back, and I bet you the next one you get won't be warped. Now, if it is, and you say that's it, and you went and bought a more expensive one, I can understand that. But I took the chance. I bought that one. When I got this thing and seen the surfaces on these things, I was shocked at how freaking gorgeous they looked. I put it on this engine. It was flat as a pancake, man. $150. Alternator. Bought it off eBay. Now, back before Brandon was in office, I had the other car. I bought one, 3G, 130 amp. It was $65. Since that regime change, I think I spent 130 on this. You can go to LMR, you can buy one for 200 bucks. But if you look on eBay nowadays, they're a lot more expensive, and I think the cheapest one I found was 150 bucks. Every one of them is about $200 now, but this thing right here, 100 bucks, eBay, 3-row. You know what's different from this than the $200 one from SVE? It doesn't have SVE stenciled on it. It doesn't leak. It works. It's from China. Headers. I bought these on Marketplace from a guy who bought them and then realized he couldn't use them on his engine. So I think they were $150 brand new. He was selling them for $100. They'd never been mounted on the car. They were brand new. The only problem I had with these is where the bolts are. There's a couple spots on them where we had to take a punch and just tap the side of it in a little bit so we could turn those heads. Those are Proform self-locking bolts. They're the best. I don't care what anybody says. They don't ever come loose. But yeah, Chinese. But then, guess what? I bought these. This one right here leaked like a sieve. It was warped beyond belief. I'll throw a picture up here. Fortunately, I work at a foam plant, but we have a mill in there and a lathe. And a friend of mine there who worked in the maintenance department straightened it out for me. So got burned on that, but in the end we fixed it. eBay. I did this. I painted this. I stenciled that. I mean, guys. I mean, look, these are Steeda. Okay, that's, you know, it's just, you got these companies out there who just, they want to charge you crazy amounts of money because of their name, Holley, and their conglomerate of other brands they own. You know, the Sniper, I'm not saying the Sniper's bad, but is it worth the money they're asking? I don't think so. That's when Aces came around. This was a former owner of, or former, he used to be, used to work for Phytech, and he opened Aces. This guy just seems like he says, you know what, let's build something better and give it to people cheaper. And it works fantastic. I mean, I haven't opened up the full potential of it, but it works great. And it doesn't break the bank. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying Holley is bad. They're not worth it anymore, dude. You know? Get it through your guys' head. They're just not worth it. And the people who pay those prices, I'm just like, man, there's better alternatives. Again, this is not a hate video on LMR or Holley or any of those brands. It's just the best way to get them to bring prices down is stop buying their stuff. I mean, it's, guys, it's just not worth it. I mean, if you want to buy name brand stuff, go ahead. I did it. It's just like the sound deadening in my car, Black Sunshine. Dynamat. I seen it was the best, so I bought Dynamat, and I Dynamated the shit out of that car. And then when I did the other car, the Black Cherry Bomb, I said, do I really need that? So I bought some cheaper stuff, extremely cheap. And I got it and realized it was the same shit, just in a different package. I was like, I kind of felt like a sucker after that. And just go buy, I mean, even the Amazon Basics now has sound deadening. I see. Just buy that or buy the Noico. That stuff, it's the same stuff as Dynamat. It just has a different name on it. It's just, it's butyl with a tin backing on it, you know? So I see those people in there in those groups, and they're just telling people, you got to get the name brand. It's just like these link bar lifters. We're going to revisit this thing again. I think I got maybe a solution. We'll see. It's not going to get rid of the tick, but I think it'll make it. I got to put the original push rods back in there. Those ones make it too loud, those new ones. But those link bar lifters, man, I paid $140 for them. like I said, I seen in that group people going, "Oh, somebody says his was ticking," and he says, I spent $500 on these things, and I didn't expect them to tick." And everybody's like, "Oh, $500? You didn't spend enough." People think you needed to spend $700 or $800 for those things. Why are those things so expensive? I don't understand it. They're not much different than the regular roller lifters. They just have a link bar on them. What the hell, man? And I went on this journey of trying to get it to stop, thinking it was because they're cheap. And this guy in that group told this guy, he's like, "Hey, they make noise. They're aftermarket. All of them make noise." And people were telling him, "Oh, you're wrong. He's going to destroy his engine and all this garbage." And this guy just dropped a bunch of logic on him and just said, "Fine. Next time you change your oil, look at the oil. If there's no big chunks of metal in it, I think you're all right." I said, that is the most fantastic point I heard out of this whole stupid conversation. Then I went on this journey, and funny enough, and I wish I could remember the guy's name, maybe I'll put it down here. I've seen the most expensive ones you can buy that, as far as I know, are Howard Cams link bar lifters. He commented and said, I have Howard Cams link bar lifters." He goes, "And they make noise." Because link bar lifters make noise. And I'm like, I knew it. Well, it was why I was still in the middle of swapping those things out. Because I knew that it wasn't going to work. You heard me through that whole video. So we're going to see if we can't quiet them down by putting the original, the stock push rods in. And I bought a shim kit, guys. I'm going to try a couple of them, maybe try 20s like Justin was saying. Quiets it down a little bit, and I think we're good to go. But another thing that's Chinese on here is the tailpipes. I bought them. There's the cheapest ones at the time on LMR, and I think they were $160 or whatever. I had an issue with the downpipe. It was an off-road homemade downpipe these hillbillies made on this car, and it just threw the geometry off just slightly. And when it throws it off slightly in one spot, by the time you get back another few feet, it's way off. So those tailpipes wouldn't work. Then I got a guy I know who was selling one, a real off-road H-pipe. And I put that on, and we put those tailpipes on. They fit perfect. I mean, like, this thing's Chinese too. It works just fine. I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. You don't always gotta buy expensive, and I'm telling you, you're taking a chance when you buy this stuff. And I know this. You know, the ratio from good to bad, it's in favor of the good, man. I don't know what else to tell you. You don't always gotta buy name brand, but like I said, things that are important: shifters, the suspension, clutch cables. That's a Steeda clutch cable. Those are the things, the things that are going to take a beating. They're going to, you're always using. Suspension, you're always using, And, of course, somebody's probably going to say, "Well, you're always using a throttle, too." Shut up. That works fine. It's mechanical. It's a piece of aluminum, you know what I mean? So, it's not, I don't know. It's like people thinking they got to get the greatest water pump. I always buy part store pumps. They're fine. There's never anything wrong with them. These, on the other hand, are just horrible. I mean, they're just bad. I mean, I've had a couple of them just bad right out of the box, man. And then I've had a couple of them go, but they're just terrible. I mean, I think is it a company called Lee? You can get a company called Lee, but they're like $400. Probably won't, wear out on you. I don't know. But I would like to just get rid of this altogether and get the Volvo electric. That bolts right up. So, but anywho. And there's lots of other things. I mean, the plastics in the car and stuff like that. Not everything on Black Sunshine's name brand. There's plastics and things in there that are Chinese. It's got an SVE radiator in it. I fell for that whole thing, and like I said, just go buy one on eBay. $100 less of the same thing. Mitsumoto or whatever people think they gotta buy. No, you don't. Just go buy one from eBay. They're fine. Anywho, that's all I got for this one, man. But think about it, man. If it doesn't work, send it back. Get another one. I doubt that one will be bad. What do you get? 1 in 50, 1 in 100 are bad. So what? Find the one in between that doesn't. Later.